Hey folks, welcome back to Gen Con 2018. I'm joined by my special guest. Introduce yourself to the fans.
Mandy, also known as Lightseeker.
Yeah, so we're going to tune into the top 16. We've got, who have we got on the left?
We have WingedWeasel on the left.
And we've got CJseeker on the right, so these guys are pretty high seeded, right, coming into the top 16. They're about to do their ban picks of the advanced format. They bring 3 decks, no duplicate orders in the 3, and then they're going to reveal the heroes. You get to pick and ban 1, and you have to win with the others. So if you win with 1, you swap to your other one. That means best of 3, and we see who the best Lightseeker is. So I think we're about to tune into the ban pick here. Friendly handshake to start off. Who have we got? So actually, we know we can cheat.
So WingedWeasel has a Sicario, a Trianu, and a Sun Hunter Tuck 2 deck.
And then CJseeker has Selene, Dolo, and Trianu. So they're just looking at each other's heroes now. They put the ban face down. Who would you ban?
I would 100% ban Selene for CJseeker.
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed. And what about WingedWeasel? Anyone there scare you? Sicario, Trianu, Sun Hunter? So the Trianu looks like a mimic.
I would probably get rid of the Sicario.
All right.
If I had to choose.
Have they picked?
Looks like they have.
And are we right? We're banning Selene and Sun Hunter.
Oh.
All right.
Wasn't expecting him to be afraid of Sun Hunter.
All right, so those guys are out. That means we're going to be looking at a Sicario and Trianu.
Sicario, Trianu, and then
versus Dolo and Trianu as well. Trianu face-off.
We could see a Trianu mirror match.
Yeah, so here we go. So yeah, exactly. It could be a mirror because we don't know yet.
But they play very differently. I have prior information because I played yesterday.
So yeah, how did your tournament experience go?
Not great, but not terribly.
You had good games?
They were great games.
All right,
great
cool.
games.
All right, so it looks like our first pick is not. Oh, we're going to get a Trianu. Oh no, we're not going to get a Trianu mirror. Well, we might. It's a Sicario versus Dolo. So Sicario, for those of you who don't know, he has the ability to take a little bit of damage, to push 2 action buffs into play at one time. So very nice to build on the board quickly. He's one of the few ways in the games you can get around the you can't play the same card twice rule. And he's cheeky because of it, right? And then Dolo, do you want to tell everyone what Dolo does?
If they don't know what Dolo does, then they...
I've heard he's quite mighty.
He is mighty. He's the mightiest. He takes 2 damage, draws 2 cards, until the 7th.
Yes, and yeah,
until
this
the
is
7th.
The last time we're going to see it at a tournament. All right, so what are they doing now? Starting? No, they're just shoving their decks. So yeah, CJseeker's probably not running a traditional Dolo deck, I'd say, right? We know what these guys are up to.
Yes, he does not have traditional Dolo. So he's running some shenanigans, so make sure you look out for that in the next couple minutes of this video.
He's going to have items in there. He's going to go cross order. Sicario, how's that deck list look? Do we go cross order?
It looks like it's and I'm going to use the name that we've named it Bovicario, with Flynamo and Warden of Time, Warp Toad. So.
Oh, sorry, he's in time. So he is. I missed that bit.
It's Bovicario.
It is Bovicario. So there's what's the other? I'm forgetting the card name. Shade Whirler. There it is.
Yep,
yeah, so
Shade Whirler's in there.
So that allows you to break another game rule by using more than one ability a turn. So Sicario can fly away for another action. That's an ability.
Move in Abyss Tentacles. You can use like 3 actions in one turn.
Sicario. Yeah, it's a tasty setup when it gets there.
It's a fun deck to play against. It's a hard deck to pilot. I have tried to pilot it. And
I assume he's got the tentacles in there. Yeah, 3 tentacles, 3 weavers. He's got the Abyss Suite.
Does he have the
Hoarder?
Drawing card Abyss?
Yes, he has 2 of them.
2? Oh.
And 1
Night
Lurker.
Different.
1 Night Lurker just in case. 1 Tantosian Blacksmith. Flynamo, so...
Oh, he's got the Leeching Scimitar as well, so that's another action he can use,
so
another
looking
ability.
Here at Dolo's deck list, we do have a Crushing Blow. So there is a potential he loses, I assume, the Flynamo.
That's actually why I'm surprised that he didn't ban the Dolo, because most Sicario decks want to ban Dolo because of Crushing Blow.
Yeah, but then as you said, he might have insight on what Selene is up to. Obviously, in this specific build, you'll see it come out shortly. CJseeker's looking to do something a bit lockout-ish, and having access to Subjugator might make it a bit more tricky. Although maybe not for Sicario, because obviously he doesn't care about attacking really. He's probably going to do a lot of buff damage. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Dolo turns out to be a bad pick here. But maybe, it's a difficult mental game, right? You might play to lose the first one because you know you can win the other 2, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know who played yesterday actually. Obviously he's made it to top 16, so he's done well enough. No offence intended.
No offence taken. I came in hoping to do better than I did Friday, because Friday I did not win a single game.
Oh yeah, was that when you...
And then I scrapped my deck.
Was that your Tempest deck?
That was the Tempest deck.
It
ran so well before Friday.
Falls at the last hurdle. All right, so it looks like WingedWeasel's going first. He should be drawing 4. CJseeker with 5, and away we go. So Sicario, does he have any good draw cards there? Has he got any shadow suppliers? He's just going to have to draw into it.
I do not see shadow supplier.
So that's obviously a bit of a pain for him. It takes a little bit of time to get the cards he needs. Some people play Ritual of Awakening, don't they? So that stops you dying, but it also gives you an extra action for 4 turns. And some people like that early game to pass to draw 3 and Warp Toad essentially.
Got
wow.
his weapon out already.
Straight in. So he's got Blacksmith in his starting hand, moves an item into play for free essentially. So he's still got 2 actions, and I'm guessing he has access to Gravity?
Yes.
Gravity.
He has Gravity.
So
We'll just have to hope he doesn't have the rest in his hand, otherwise we might run into a very quick game.
Yeah, so Mountain Fort was played with his first action from the Tantosian Blacksmith, and then second action was Dolo for 2 damage, blocked by the fort, draw 2 cards. So this is why they like Dolo as well, obviously, because that draw power, he's getting to that play quicker. So yeah, Dolo again for 2 damage, blocked 2 cards. Is WingedWeasel sweating out already?
I mean, he's
Dolo's,
drawn a
look
lot.
At that. He's got
oh, and then there's the Flynamo.
Oh, okay, so he's got straight into both weapons, or items, should I say. Flynamo not that aggressive. Yeah, and then Flynamo not seeing
some lucky draws there.
Yeah, how many blacksmiths has he got? Let's have a quick look here. So we are looking at 3
he
blacksmiths.
He has 3 blacksmiths.
So it's likely to happen. He only has 1 Howling Blade, 1 Flynamo, so I assume these guys are going to ban Mountain as a priority, because obviously they don't want to get Crushing Blowed.
Does the Sicario have any way of getting his weapons back?
He's got Ghostly Grasp.
He does have Ghostly Grasp,
so not ideal. He's got 1 shot of getting it back, but then obviously Crushing Blow is a 1 shot as well. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so he's gone into Gravity. We can talk about a little bit about this. So the idea is he's going to try and lock him out with Paralysis Bug so he can't draw or defend. So what do you do with that? What do you do with that knowledge? Do you try and draw heavy at the start? Do you try?
I mean, with Sicario, you have to draw heavy at the start. The only choice you really have is to get your Abyss Suite out, because if you don't have it out, then you're sitting dead.
Yep. And there you go. That's a good example of exactly that. He's Assassin's Guild for 3 actions, and then he's passed all 3 to get 3 cards. Dolo drawing 2. He's got to be getting close to this play now. He's got a lot of cards in hand.
Looks like the Sicario player has his Blacksmith, so we're going to be able to see the Flynamo from WingedWeasel.
Yep. He's just searching for it now. There it is. Was that his first action?
That was his first action.
Oh, so he's still got 2 now. Bonus 1 from the Blacksmith. What do you reckon? Start getting the Abyss Suite out? I think he's got to go for Tentacles, right? Because if he does get locked out and he can't draw or defend, he can at least Sicario, which is neither.
Right.
And it might trigger Tentacles and Weavers to undo the damage, because I think that is one of the things you would beat the lockout deck with, is the ability to do infinite damage.
Right.
So if you've got the cards in play that can get the job done, you can trickle through it. Because I'm not aware that they're that aggressive. They sort of go for the lockout. Yeah,
from what I remember seeing of the lockout lists and what I remember hearing, they aren't doing a ton of damage, really.
Yeah, I think one guy killed someone with Geode Hatchling.
Yeah. There's our Abyss Weaver.
Yeah, so he's gone for the Weaver first.
And there goes the Tentacle.
Yep, so that gives him another action, because Shadow Buff was in play. Yep, so that's action 1, action 2. Action 2 giving me a 3rd action. Just, I think maybe he's confused CJseeker that he was not Sicarioing. I think he's just putting it into play. So he should have 1 more action. Might do the Flynamo to do the, block the fort.
There goes the Flynamo.
Get rid of the fort. 1 healing.
Popping the fort is a really good thing to do in this situation as well.
Yeah, because Dolo's wanting to draw cards, right? So any bonus damage you can get him to do to himself is a bonus. But he's got a lot of cards already. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes now.
They both have a lot of cards. It's going to be...
Oh, my mistake here, actually. Dolo is not in Gravity, he's in Luna. That's a Howling Blade.
Oh, he has Yukon Oracle.
No, yeah, he's got Yukon Oracle, Howling Blade, and he's going the Subjugator route.
Oh.
I thought they were in Gravity. That's really interesting. So I thought he was stopping the draw and defend, but he's actually going to go for stopping the attacks, which is really
a huge
not
thing
good
with Sicario, though. Sicario shouldn't matter.
No, he can defend
because it's
to
just an ability,
tentacles.
and then all the abilities will trigger to do the damage.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Sicario, if he gets all of his components, all of his pieces, he might be slightly favored.
Yeah, that's really swung it for me, actually. Yeah, I'm contemplating how he gets around Sicario now. He's obviously got 3 Crystal Leeches, so he can slow down the Abyss Suite, but he's not going to be stopping him drawing or defending. So maybe we're looking at a longer game than we thought after that initial draw. He's Focus Chamber, just to draw 1. All right. Putting in a subjugator. Is this the setup? So I think usually the players are stone scribe on the next go, right?
From what I can see of Winged Weasel's hand, though, I don't see any attacks in there, so he's not really...
Yeah, I mean, like you said a second ago, Sicario really doesn't care about attacking. Like, he's an Abyss Suite guy, right?
The only thing that he won't be able to do is Shadow Puppet, maybe?
Oh, that's a fair point. And Leeching Scimitar, but probably doesn't care. Don't know. Yeah, it's a strange one. I'm excited to see how this goes now. Yeah, so he's...
There's a flying
proving that he doesn't care about attacking, defending for 2 damage and 1 healing from the Weaver and the Tentacle triggering. Yeah, puts a bit of pressure on now because obviously
drawing 2 with his actions.
Yeah, how low do you want to go with Dolo? You don't want to hit yourself too badly. So imagine we're looking at a Stone Scribe here. No?
Another Focus Chamber.
Maybe he's changed his strategy because he knows Sicario's not a great match. No, he's drawing and putting Stone Scribe. And then Stone Scribe's coming into play, Focus Chamber is resolved, so it gets caught by the Stone Scribe. That's a cheeky way.
That was a smart play.
Yeah.
Very
so when
smart.
he picks it up with Warp Toe, that generally tends to be his play. He can do that same play again to go through his deck as well as setting up the play again.
Yeah, the players from my team that played CJ yesterday said that he played nearly flawlessly. So we should see some beautiful Lightseekers from him today.
There's a few guys running similar sort of decks to him, but yeah, apparently he's he's the top seed here, right, of those guys. So.
Indeed.
So he's leeching. Yeah, this is the problem now because he's got a Crystal Leech he can cycle. So obviously there is a rule change coming in after this tournament where you can't store burn cards. So the Crystal Leech would go to the discard after today, pretty much. So these guys making the most of it while they can. Well, actually on the left-hand side, we also see Flying Mode getting banned with the upcoming expansion.
Yeah.
And a few other changes trickling as well. Dolo as well, take 3 damage. So a few changes.
Which is negligible.
Yeah. It might add up a little bit, like some of the forts won't fully block it at least. You see some trickle coming through.
Now the question is, does CJ have his Warp Toad in his hand to get all of those back at this point?
I mean, like you said, he plays pretty flawlessly. You'd assume he's not going to mess this one up. But I have some amazing misplays this weekend.
I have done some amazing misplays this weekend.
So he's Lunar
There's
Shrieker
a Lunar
in the
Shrieker for a
focus
Focus Chamber.
Yeah.
And there's the Warp Toad
in the lot. Still has 1 action from the Shrieker, and he's using that to replay this Subjugator.
Subjugator.
So yeah, now he's in this loop where he has infinite Crystal Leech power, so now I don't know what Sicario does. Maybe we called it too early for Sicario's favour, because the Crystal Leech power is going to remove any Abyss Suite he gets going, even if he goes through Grasps and all sorts. It's like...
Winged Weasel has his Scimitar in his hand, so he could play it, but he won't be able to do anything with it. All the Scimitar does is just give, and in Sicario, all the Scimitar will do is give the attack ability. Yeah,
but now the Subjugator is going to actually not work out for that. Right, so he's flying him in for 1. Well, doesn't need the healing, but he triggers the ability, so he gets 1 from the Hoarder. Maybe. No, I'm trying to think how you get around this now. So the Crystal Leech thing is a pain because even if he puts 1 buff out to try and make him waste a Crystal Leech, doesn't necessarily matter unless he has a Warn of Time.
Which he didn't have prior to this past turn, but...
Oh, he has 2. I'm just looking at the deck list here as well. So Warn of Time can actually return a Warn of Time in the discard. So if he gets Crystal Leeched, he can return 1 card he wants and another Warn of Time. And if he replays
you can loop it.
You've got essentially an infinite Crystal Leech plays an infinite Warn of Time situation. But I'm guessing if he Warn of Times, I'm thinking too far into this now. If he Warn of Times a Warn of Time and an Abyss Tentacle, he might at least be able to trigger 1 Tentacle every now and then while he loses and regains a Warn of Time and a Tentacle. So that might mean he can do cheeky 2 damage all the way down.
He just has to make sure that he cycles everything completely properly.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I'm thinking that too far into that, but we'll see.
I mean, he's probably thought about the strategy as well, because I know that...
So here we go. So he's Crystal Leech, so yeah, the Warn of Time triggers, he gets 2 cards back to his hands. Smart play here, I think, is, as I said, take a Tentacle.
Oh, an Assassin's Guild and the Tentacle. I wasn't expecting him to get the Assassin's Guild.
I guess he wants, like you said earlier, maybe go for the draw 3.
Yeah.
So right now, the key for me is don't play buffs without a Warn of Time out. So I think he needs to find that second Warn of Time. And then, like we just said, he could trade.
Cycle it.
He could trade a Warn of Time for a Warn of Time and another Tentacle, for example. Checking how that would go. So in this situation, if this had played out, if he could play a Warn of Time, if he could play, I'm trying to think of how you do it. You play a Tentacle, you'd fly in a Mo, which triggers the tentacle, gives you an unrestricted action, so you put the 1 at a time in. That's giving you 2 damage.
But and
you've re-protected, exactly, and you've re-protected the tentacle. And then if you crystal leech it, you do the same thing again.
Looks like we're seeing a combo come out.
Breach the
veil. He wants that draw, it looks like.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm going to assume with the hand size of CJseeker, he's got a second crystal leech. I'm not sure how much.
Maybe he's using that to try to bait it in the hopes that.
I have heard that when this play on the right here, you see, it can be undone very quickly. Stuff like Chrono Warper makes the Stone Scribe go to its final corner, and then it sort of puts stuff out of sync. So it can be when it's disrupted badly and takes quite a bit of recovery time. So maybe, like you say, maybe he's trying to bait it with a second crystal leech there, which isn't intended. Don't know if that's going to stop this one specifically. He's probably going to go for the.
It doesn't look like CJ has his.
So he's Lunar Shriek in the Warp
Toad that he just got back.
Yeah, so this is why you say it's very easy that you make one misplay with this sort of step, it sort of can all fall out of sync. So he's got one more action. Yeah, so he has actually disrupted it. He Warp Toads the entire stack, but that was his last action because he crystal leeched. Extra action, Warp Toad. So he's done now. So this turn, you can see there's no subjugator.
He'll be able to set at least something up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he could get Crystal Leech, but at this point you can see how he did break the chain there, as in there's no subjugator in play. So a little bit of disruption there. Don't know if it was worth a Breach the Veil, but as you've seen, he's got essentially a lot of Crystal Leeches to play now, well, infinite in theory. So got to play those buffs carefully. I think the way I would do this is the 1 at a time tentacle angle.
Yeah,
what do you reckon?
I mean, that's what I would have to do as well. It's the only out that I could possibly see.
Yeah, because the Dolo under the control of CJseeker here doesn't really do a lot of damage. He's got combos which will do some damage, and everything else seems to be damage reduction and healing.
Yep.
But that's eventually going to run out against 2 damage. Like a tentacle will slowly trickle it. So it might be a late game, but there is potential for one tentacle to do some significant damage over the course of that game.
CJseeker's early Mountain Fort to be able to dolo up to that hand size was really, it was clutch. If he hadn't had that, we may be slightly different.
This is why people need to be main decking a Creeble Jester. Look at that hand size.
I did main deck Creeble Jesters.
Did you?
Many of the people in the tournament did main deck Creeble Jesters and Umbron Informants.
Nice. Yeah, so just for those who are not familiar, the one thing with the advanced format where you play these 3 decks in the banned format is there is no side decking, so what you bring is what you play. So previously you could sideboard, and some people had stuff like Creeble Jesters, Creeble Infiltrate, like punishing hand size or potential meta-solving cards. But someone like Mandy has obviously thought about that, and because of the lack of a sideboard, you bring in one of those punishing cards in case someone does, hog the hand size. And when you have to discard, when you discard from 15 down to 7, that is not a pleasant experience.
In the game yesterday, I made someone discard from 17.
Oh, very nice. So 10 cards. It's one of the few cards that actually discards as well.
Yes.
Usually we're nice and you get cards back and they go back to your deck, but Creeble Jester, none of that. Straight to the discard. So it looks like he's started up his play again, but happy to see the tentacle out at least. He's gone for a Legion Scimitar. I don't know if he blacksmithed that, but that's probably a waste of an action, to be honest, because he's never going to be able to use it.
He didn't have it in his hand.
He's never going to be able to use it, so you don't really need
if
to play
he can
right.
disrupt CJ's sequencing one more time, it might be able to give him
if he had a
just a little
out,
bit more.
Yes, that's true, yeah. With the tentacle out, he might be able to do 2 or 4 damage, so with the Legion Scimitar. So not bad. He's disrupted it once before, so we'll see if he can do it again.
CJ has a definite card advantage with his hand size right now, though.
Yeah, well, he's warp toading everything, so he's keeping his hand high. Oh, he's
Sicarioing. We've got a Weaver and a Whirler.
Okay, so he takes 2, sorry. I'm thinking a die. Take 2, and then heals for... Oh, hold on, what happened there?
He took 2 from activating Sicario, healed 4 from putting out the Weaver.
Yes. Okay, cool.
And then he flying a mode, it looked like.
He can't attack with Legion Scimitar.
Let's make sure that they...
No damage taken on the other side, so I think they've got it under control. Oh, I've not been paying attention to health. How is he down to 17?
There's been the Tentacle out and the Sicario activating the ability, the Whirler, the Flynamo. And then there goes the Crystal Leech. He left the Weaver, so at least there's the ability for him to get an additional action when he puts out another Tentacle.
Yep, yeah, that's true. Well remembered, definitely. I wonder if he's thought far enough ahead where we think about the Warning Time Tentacle loop. I think that's the way he gets the win here.
So WingedWeasel picked the game up prior to PAX Unplugged, so he has been playing a lot longer than CJ. CJ picked it up at Origins.
Okay.
And I haven't actually seen WingedWeasel since PAX Unplugged, but I know that they've been playing on and off for the past year.
All right, well, hopefully he's got a bit of knowledge there then.
Yeah, so WingedWeasel has the longevity, and CJ is, from everything we've been saying, almost a savant with deck building. So.
All right, yeah, he's built an interesting deck here, and he's playing it while it lasts. What have we got?
There's the Abyss Tentacle.
Yep, so as you said, he has a shadow buff in place. He still has 2 actions.
And then he's able to Leeching Scimitar. He Warp-Toaded it back.
But he didn't replay the Subjugator? Interesting. I thought he Shrieked the Warp-Toad and then Warp-Toaded, so he still had 1 more action. Did he pass to draw 1? Usually he replays the Subjugator.
I think he did.
Was that a misplay, or did I miss something? Did he spend an action on something else that go? Interesting. So he's down to 13. I bet he's glad he got rid of that Shade Whirler.
Yeah.
So he's got a flying
mode.
Yeah.
There's the Subjugator.
Expecting some point here, so he's got 1 more action.
And an Oracle. Okay,
yeah,
so for the next 3 turns after this one, he's going to be able to mitigate 3 points of damage.
Yeah.
So
he's not going for the Stone Scribe approach because he doesn't like the Tentacle. He knows what his weakness is.
The Abyss Suite's not going to be able to combat that.
Yeah, so obviously damage reduction is per hit as well, so even if he had 3 tentacles out...
it looks like WingedWeasel has a Warp-Toad in his hand right now.
Oh, wow.
So he could return those back because that's a defend. So he could return the Oracle and the Subjugator back and at least slow him down for a little bit.
Yeah, on the next go he would replay them, right? But you could...
Well, he couldn't replay both. He can only replay 1. Oh, wait, no, he does have the superior. He does have the superior.
But you're onto something there. I wonder if you could use the Warp-Toad to disrupt something anyway. Interesting. Yeah, so on the next go, when the Subjugator usually gets caught by the Stone Scribe, I wonder what happens if you Warp-Toad the Subjugator. Probably nothing, because it's giving him back anyway. But I wonder if there's an opportunity there with the Warp-Toad.
There's a Focus Chamber.
So draw another card.
And it looked like he drew another Focus Chamber.
Okay, and he's putting the Stone Scribe in, so he's starting up his play. So yeah, so here, what happens if you Warp-Toad the Stone Scribe? Then the Subjugator expires and Warp-Toad's not on top for him.
Yeah.
So there's a potential disruption there.
Let's see if he'll find it.
He's going for the 6 healing. Boulder Feast. So yeah, let's not forget the Tentacle has been trickling in. Is that his actions done? Yeah, so
that's his action. So the question is, will he want to give him back that Focus Chamber and that Boulder Feast?
Yeah.
But that might be his only out because he needs to have that Subjugator expire.
Yeah, I think this is it. Warp-Toad the Stone Scribe, Subjugator covers up the Warp-Toad, and that slows him down. He needs to Shrieker the Warp-Toad.
He does have 2 Warp-Toads, so he could possibly have another one in his hand or dig for it in his deck, but at least it's going to slow him down long enough to possibly let the Abyss Suite set up more.
A little bit of disruption. Obviously, Warp-Toad can do 3 buffs as well, so you could maybe do something different as well. You could make him
There's
pick up
the Warp-Toad.
Oh, no!
No, that was... Oh, that hurts.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, we'll take it back. Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, the Shadow Puppet. We're so focused on the 1 Warp-Toad, we forgot he could...
Well, I didn't know that he had the Shadow Puppet in his hand.
No, neither did I. Just forgot it existed for a second there.
There's the Geode Hatchling.
So 1 damage.
Bringing back the Stone Scribe.
Last buff back into play, and that will catch Geode Hatchling. However, he has disrupted his discard pile.
So his layering is not his optimal layering at this point.
Oh, you got to wonder what would have happened if he Warp-Toaded the Stone Scribe instead. So Focus Chamber, draw a card, put buff into play. He's got another Subjugator. Okay, but he might be having to rebuild here, so he's lost 1 of his Warp-Toads now, I think. I think he's made his peace with that.
And it looks like WingedWeasel does have another Warp-Toad in his hand. He runs 2 Warp-Toads. They both run 2. Okay.
Looks like we've still got a game here. Abyss Hoarder. You got to assume he's going to Flynamo. There's the Flynamo for 2 damage, 1 healing,
2
1
damage,
card.
1 healing, 1 card.
So he's Sicario max health, slowly trickling through that previous Boulder Feast. And then, yeah, still got 1 action from the Flynamo. Can't use it on ability because we're out of Shade Whirlers, I think. Oh no, how many has he got? He's got another one to come. He's just passed in to draw 1.
And it looks like he pulled a Night Lurker.
He does have 1 Night Lurker in his deck, I think. Not useful here. Night Looker being an attack ability. Maybe save that for combo payment like Ghostly Grasp. Let's see how it goes. So Subjugator, second corner, still can't attack. I really want to see what happens if he warps over the Stone Scribe. Puts a Subjugator on top. I think that puts 2 in the discard, right?
And I don't know that he would be as upset about warp-toading that Stone Scribe because a Focus Chamber and a Geode Hatchling, he'd be able to Geode Hatchling the Subjugator back,
yeah,
so that I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's a Mountain Fort, so that's gonna slow down the Abyss Suite a little bit.
Yeah, and there's no cheeky way of punching through that with a Shadow Puppet just to get rid of it because Subjugator, preventing attack cards like Shadow Puppet. Doesn't want to waste a Warp Toad on the Mountain Fort just because he's probably just going to replay it, right? Again, might slow him down, but he's eyeing up that Warp Toad though, isn't he?
It looks like he is eyeing the Warp Toad.
What do you do here? What do you do? I see he's got Ritual of Awakening there.
I mean, the only thing he can't Shadow Puppet. He has his Shadow Puppet in his hand, it looks like.
Yeah.
I would maybe Warp Toad the Oracle, the Fort, and the Stone Scribe, the Oracle, the Fort, and then the Whirler, the Hoarder, because then I can get my card draw, and his damage mitigation is gone, but what is he going to choose is the question. Because you could Warp Toad, and then you could then activate a Sicario ability to get some damage in, so you're still...
What's he making him pick up there?
Subjugator and the Mountain Fort.
And what did he do? He Shadow Puppeted
he
the Oracle?
Shadow Puppeted the...
Why give him the Mountain Fort back? He could have left the Mountain Fort out and then Shadow Puppeted both anyway.
Why didn't he pick up any of his buffs? Warp Toad isn't up to 3, he only chose 2.
But he also gave him back a Mountain Fort. He could have Shadow Puppeted both. If he's going to Geode Hatchling, he's going to Geode Hatchling one of them. May as well just give him... Maybe he didn't want Mountain Fort on top.
Maybe he's not worried about the Yukona Oracle being what's Geode Hatchling back. Maybe he can just think he can wait that out.
Maybe he baits out a Geode Hatchling on an Oracle, yeah, true.
I just don't know why he didn't pick up his Hoarder.
Yeah, interesting.
Because that's going to rotate out now. Well, not now, but
turn, yeah.
Next turn it will.
I'm also wondering, like, if he would consider doing something like a Ritual of Awakening, just to get the extra actions to draw up and try and get some more cards. It's a bit low still, or like in comparison to CJseeker.
Well, I mean, CJseeker has his entire deck basically.
Also thinking about what we were talking about earlier about the Warner time loop. Interesting here. Maybe we've I'm hopefully giving WingedWeasel a lot of credit here, but maybe he's going to Warner time, and a Warp Toad.
Yeah.
Because that would be a loop.
That would be a loop that he'd be able to...
And he would slowly be able to disrupt stuff and put something on the discard that he doesn't want. Eventually, CJ might run out of Geode Hatchlings, or it would force him to play a little bit different to what he's used to. We've already seen some stuff slip to the discard, and as we talked about before, this can be disrupted. So maybe he's going to do a double time.
Takes a lot to disrupt it, but when it can, it's...
Anyway, it's gone on longer than
tough.
Longer than usual.
All right,
I think he just dollied for 2. I mean, he might deck out at this point. We might be looking at discarding cards.
If he does deck out, though, he has enough that he can move things from his hand into play that he's not going to necessarily have to discard anything.
That's true, actually, yeah. It'll bypass the rule because the card will leave his hand.
I wish we were playing the app so we could press on the screen to find out the total number of cards that they have in hand, deck, and discard. Yeah,
I'll follow that up with a shameless plug. Obviously, the Lightseekers game you're watching here is available on the Android and iOS devices, Amazon too. You can download it, it's free to play. If you've got physical cards, every single card is unique. There's no 2 cards in the world the same. And if you're pointing the app at it with the camera, you can scan your cards in, claim them, and unlock them in the game as well.
And who needs sleep, right? Just play it all night long.
Yeah, we've just got rank play out as well, so a lot of people have been practicing their decks there as well. Oh, Ghostly Grasp.
Okay, there's a Ghostly Grasp with Obfuscation.
That is a combo I did not expect to see. If he plays that, he could protect the Tentacle and Weaver.
He can. He has to be able to get it out. Obfuscation is one of the hardest buffs to cast, or combos to cast. Oh, Shade Whirler, what was his first?
Tentacle.
A Tentacle, and...
Take a Warden. Oh,
a Warp Toad.
Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, he still does have another Warden of Time inside of his deck, and he's going to be able to shuffle up what he's got.
Oh, no. Why didn't he play the Obfuscation? Imagine if
he have the cards?
I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping that's the reason.
Obfuscation is a very hard combo to cast.
He had Ghostly Grasp, so that's half the payment.
So it's half of the payment.
And the other half is poison. He had one on the...
He doesn't have a ton of poison.
He's got Ritual in his hand, that's 1 poison.
Does he have Ritual Awakening in his hand? So he'd be able to have... But then he has to toss the Ritual Awakening back.
Oh, he's played Assassin's Guild, he's played both.
He's played both. He might not have been able to cast the Obfuscation.
I think he's out. Oh, Breach the Veil's in the discard as well.
Breach the Veil's in the discard.
That's Shadow Poison?
Yes, but I don't think he had it. I don't remember seeing it.
but at least we know that he can cast if he needs to. It's a tight one. It's a tight one. He needs 2 combos.
He needs the
3
perfect
combos
storm.
in hand.
Everything has to line up properly.
But if he does...
All right, so CJ just geohatchling a subjugator, so...
Yep. No attacking again.
Means
If he does manage to cast Obfuscation, the fact CJ can constantly Crystal Leech does not matter because he can't remove Sicario's infinite damage.
Right.
So, especially if he had like a tentacle next to it and then protected both.
And it looks like CJ only has 1, maybe 2 cards left in his deck, so if the...
Like you said, I
there
think
is a possibility. That's...
Oh no. Is that Shroud of Night?
That looks like Shroud of Night.
Oh no.
And he just cast the Shroud of Night.
That's his last poison card, so we are not going to be seeing Obfuscation this game, I don't think. Unless I've miscounted something here. He is out of poison cards.
He is out of poison.
We've definitely seen 2 Assassin's Guild, right? That's it. He could warn a time one.
We saw one played. Did he play the other?
I
we
think
saw
he
him
played the
pick
other
it up.
one.
I don't remember.
Good thing though, let's not underestimate Shroud of Night. So Shroud of Night increases shadow damage and healing by 2, so Abyss, Tentacles and Weaver's going to buff up a little bit here. More importantly, CJseeker can't attack for 2 turns, so does that disrupt the chain? Because Geohatching obviously is an attack card.
For 2 turns, I mean, he'll be able to...
I think he's still going to Shriek a defend, so I don't know if it's going to be a problem, but it's a potential disruption.
And he has to have his Crystal Leeches inside of his hand, so he just has to wait out the Shroud of Night.
Yeah.
It's just a waiting game.
Actually, that reminds me. Maybe he can Warp Toad. He could Warp Toad the Shroud of Night to get it back to his hand as well.
He could Warp Toad the Shroud of Night. That'd be a very smart play. And
so
it looks like I saw 2 tech cards in the back of his hand, in the back of WingedWeasel hand.
Okay.
So it looks like we've pulled the extra Warden of Time.
Okay, so yeah, let's credit where it's due. He's still on track here for it's a difficult deck to play around, but so far he's holding his own.
Neither of these decks are easy to pilot, so...
No, yeah, well, like you said, yeah, Sicario...
Definitely top-notch for Nationals top 16.
Yeah. Well, Warp Toad in a Stone Scrub here. He's going to make him Warp Toad his Shroud of Night as well.
And that's a very good choice.
That might have been his plan all along. So he maybe saved himself his own Warp Toad here. Is it just the 2? I assume the Stone Scribe. Oh, he just...
Did he only... Oh, he did choose this. Okay. It would have been very interesting had he not chosen the Stone Scribe.
Yeah. Focus
There's
Chamber.
a Focus Chamber.
He's now decked out, putting a Stone Scribe into play. So at this point, decking out doesn't matter for this deck because a card has left his hand or play every turn because he's playing a card underneath the Stone Scribe. So it's a cheeky way around it to maintain. Obviously, we've got a few of these little loops in the game. They all largely go away at the end of when Kindred hits.
I think there's 1 or 2 that are left, but they're a lot harder to set up than this is.
And they're set around like combos that do it, so it's a little bit trickier. But something as blatant as this one.
We probably won't see decks like this ever again, though, now with families coming out, so...
That's true, yeah. Obviously, the family mechanic new to Kindred, changing all sorts of things. Oh, I wish he'd stop Warp Toading.
He Warp Toaded to Shadow Puppet, the Stone Scribe, but...
I keep wondering what would happen if he let the Stone Scribe go.
And then he's just geohatching the Stone Scribe back.
Maybe he should have Shroud of Nighted if he could, and then done that the second go so he can't Jade Hatchling, because it would stop attacking. So Shriek in the Focus Chamber. What are we going to do now?
I do have to say I was a little bit confused when I heard the burn change rule. Seeing this deck, thank you for changing the burn change rule.
It's funny because no one had actually picked up this deck. This is the first time we've seen something like it. But myself and Benny, I thought of something, I'm going to say a little bit worse than the deck on the right because it made the situation worse, if you can believe it. But thankfully we spotted it. We did make a rule change due to that as well. And also just to, Stall isn't the greatest game style, we think, so it's not the most fun play style to play against, so it helps mitigate that a little bit as well.
It's good for a mind exercise.
Yeah.
For when you're trying to figure out how to pilot against things that are nearly impossible to pilot against. My husband is currently in the top 16, and he's my playtesting partner. And I lose nearly every game against him, but it makes me a better player. So if you can find someone super awesome to playtest against, highly recommend it.
All right, so here we go.
I'm
really excited to see what happens now, though, because in theory, if he Warden at times or Warden a time, he has also got infinite, to some degree, of the other card he brings. So if he Warp Toads, if he brings back a Warp Toad with the other Warden a time, or a tentacle potentially.
It looks like CJ might be doing,
Crushing
Crushing
blow.
blow, okay.
Ah, that's a nasty way around it. Now
Yep.
Warner Time does nothing.
Crushing blow using that Stream of Tontos, and then he only has a Stream of Tontos in his deck, so he's just going to draw it back.
I think we're looking at a loss here because Flynamo's gone, which means Warner Time is inactive. He's already played Ghostly Grasp, so his time is, he's out of time
Yeah,
to go for the pun route.
because, I mean, the Subjugator's out, he can't Scimitar. He can Sicario himself, but
And now
unless
the Crystal
he
Leech.
plays the Shroud of Night to increase the damage, but then we're looking at a race.
Yeah. And we know...
And we know that he has a Stream of Tontos, that CJ has a Stream of Tontos. If he doesn't have the ability to cast the Stream of Tontos, then I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
So he's got healing and damage, so
I mean, this
I
is
don't
the
know that
danger.
WingedWeasel is completely out of it yet, but it's pretty darn close.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously the danger of having one item in your deck playing against Mountain. Crushing Blow, destroying the Flying Emote. It's not ideal. How do you get out of this one? Like you say, a Shroud of Night.
There's the Shroud of
Yeah,
Night,
he's listening
using
to you.
Obfuscation. And, I mean, his only line here is really trying to race CJ. Because
Yeah.
if CJ is going
Oh.
to use his Stream of Tontos, it's going to disrupt his
Was that the right
cycling
play?
a little bit.
Would you not play Obfuscation again?
Does he have the ability to pay for it?
Yeah.
We don't know what's in his hand.
I think he could have. He had. He paid for it with Obfuscation. He paid for that with Obfuscation. So if he had Ritual of Awakening in his hand, he could have played Obfuscation instead. And now with a lack of time, you
It
can't
looks
warp
like, I
toad
think
it.
he might have just drawn a combo, so he might not have had the Ritual of Awakening.
I think you need to protect the tentacle because now you can just be leech. Oh, he can't be attacked to be fair.
Right.
But like you said, the healing potential and the damage reduction, you need to wait that out or punch through it.
Right.
It's something like an infinite tentacle. If he loses his tentacle to Crystal Leeches, it's largely over.
I mean, at this point, the Abyss Weaver is going to be increasing the healing, but it's only going to be a net gain of 1 healing with Sicario if that's the only ability he has to use.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have his Lurker, it looks like. But it looks like he's going to be putting in
Oh,
a
second tentacle.
second tentacle.
It's a good time.
If I were him, he has a Wall of Bones.
Okay, he
So-
doesn't really need to worry about taking damage though, right? The Dolly deck doesn't really damage.
But if he can prevent his own damage from Sicario, then
Oh,
he's
that's
able
true.
to get all of his healing from Weaver.
Oh, here we go. So he's Sicario'd in.
A
So
Shade Whirler.
4 damage, should be 1 after the fort. So 1 should get through and tick the fort.
Is he going to tick the mountain for it?
I think we're just resolving everything. So the first tentacle should go off for 4 damage, -3 for the 1. Then Sicario takes the 3, heals the 3, takes the 2, heals the 3, or heals 3, sorry, takes 2 from the Weaver.
Yep.
And then, what else did he do?
He played the Weaver the
Oh, the
first
second
action.
tentacle went
Second
off before,
action is
blocked
the
by
Whirler.
1.
He's got 1 more action left. The Whirler and the Wall of Bones were
And he
split out
can't
for
use
Sicario.
Scimitar because he can't attack.
Right.
That's a shame.
And he doesn't have his Night Lurker out, so he only has 1
He can't Night Lurk either though. He can't
If
attack.
that was the... So, I'm wondering why he put the Shade Whirler out.
I was going to say exactly
But
the same
that
thing.
might have been his only buffs, and with Sicario, you have to fulfill it to the best of your ability or
Very
reveal
true.
your entire hand.
Yep.
And he probably, I mean, at this point, you don't want CJ to have any
I think
information
you're right.
about what's in your hand.
I think you're right, yeah. So on the next go, CJ stands to take 4 damage.
And then WingedWeasel will be able to heal up for 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
there's
probably
the Crystal
game.
Skin. Using...
Yeah, so
Yep.
unfortunately, every bit of damage can be blocked now.
Between the Mountain Fort. Well, the Mountain Fort will rotate out.
Yes.
It's going to rotate that,
That's
but
the
it's
silver
still...
lining. I mean,
The Crystal Skin's going to block everything else for the next 4 turns.
yeah, I think this is probably game because when Shroud of Night runs out, he's going to get Crystal Leech, probably hitting the tentacles straight away, just because.
Sicarioing.
So blocks the damage, 4/4. Mountain Fort should rotate out because it blocks 2/2, and then Crystal Skin blocks the rest. So, and yeah, I think like you said, he's been forced to put 2 buffs in, so the 2 Wall of Bones just so he didn't have to reveal hand.
Yeah.
They're playing it correctly. Oh, the Stone Scribe's
And the
still in
Stone
play.
Scribe is still there,
Still
so he's
catches
going to
it.
get it back, but Oh, and the Stone Scribe's going to actually expire. It's expiring next turn.
Interesting. That doesn't usually happen.
No, that is atypical. Maybe he's holding on to his Warp Toads in...
Yeah. I mean, he could probably geohatching it. But that's what's not usually, that doesn't usually happen. So you can geohatching the Subjugator. His Crystal Skin should have rotated. I think they're calling it there. I think they've run out of damage. What's happened there?
Did Winged Weasel concede for the first game?
I think he's out of damage.
Yeah.
So that was game 1.
On to game 2. So Winged Weasel can choose to play Sicario again, or he could then decide that instead of Sicario, he would want to use his Trianu deck.
And
we are going to be seeing Trianu for CJ. But these Trianu lists are very different from one another.
Yeah, so Trianu under the power of CJseeker is similar to what we've seen before with this game. He's going to try and lock him out with Paralysis Bug in a similar sort of loop, which will stop you draw or defending instead of attacking. Trianu on the other side.
It's got Spectral Web and it's working towards the Mimicking Horror combo.
Yeah, so for those not familiar with that, that is a Vine Lash, which is a nothing 14 damage. And then with the power of Shadow and Mimicking Horror, it does 28.
Wait,
hold on.
CJ concede?
Oh, I think we've called this wrong.
Did we?
I think he's conceded. Like you said, the disruption.
I mean, he was disrupted.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're also, is the round timed? Are they worried about time at this point? Because that was a very long first match.
Oh, sorry. I think obviously we don't have the audio. Just catching up here. I think it's gone to time because highest health would win, which was Winged Weasel.
Oh, were we at time?
Well, I'm looking around.
You need to give us a clock.
A lot of people standing up. Yeah, I don't know how long we've been talking. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people standing up, so we might be at a time situation.
We might fully be at time, so then in that case, Winged Weasel would have won in time.
Because we fall to 3 turns and then highest health, and with a stall deck, he's stalling, but that Tentacle got the job done in a different way there, in theory. So yeah, just because Dolo has not been swapped, and
CJ is still shuffling his Dolo deck, so it looks like, sorry for that, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
A little bit of misinformation.
We need like mic. We need
we need to get some audio feed.
But obviously, we have to sit far enough away. We can't just blabber about what we see in their hands when they hear each other. So yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did we win? So did.
We're getting confirmation
Weasel,
right now.
Did Winged Weasel first? Are we at time?
No.
Who won the first round there then?
Why is he still shuffling Dolo? Could you get some confirmation?
So maybe we were right the first time. So the winner,
I mean, he just presented his deck for cutting, so it has to be what we had said.
Thank you. I thought we were right.
Are we in time or no? Okay, so it looks like CJ conceded to Winged Weasel for the first game. So do you know how much time we have left in round?
I have to verify.
If you could verify, that'd be great. That'd be some good information to have.
All right. Okay, so we were right. We're not going crazy. The format is correct. So he's opted to stick with Dolo. So he could have changed to the unbanned one, which is his Trianu. So
I think that Dolo is a better choice.
Yes, I agree.
Especially because we have gone relatively long, and he is working on the time rules.
Although, the Dolo is running the Subjugator loop, right? And we know Trianu wants to draw and defend because he needs to Vine Lash Mimic, and that is a defend card. So maybe not having the Paralysis Bug is a mistake here.
Does his Trianu list have Paralysis Bug?
It does not.
The only one that has Paralysis Bug is their Lunar option, which is why I said I would have banned their Selene.
Oh, sorry. I see. So there are... Oh, no, sorry. Trianu is...
Oh, it does
gravity.
have Paralysis Bug?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we in time? No? Okay.
So yeah.
20 minutes left.
All right, so we've got 20 minutes left in this game, which both of these decks are slower playing decks. They do need to build up. Obviously, Dolo's going to be building up to its Infinite Loop. Trianu has to get a lot of cards in play to be able to build up for its Mimicking Horror. They usually want to Mimicking Horror that Vine Lash.
Yeah.
So it's a 28 damage turn.
And that's the interesting thing, that's what I'm saying. So if you played Vine Lash and CJ can't remove it, for example, having Spectral Web out, if he had Paralysis Bug, he could at least stop him defending with Mimicking Horror.
Right.
But because he hasn't changed decks, because he's got the Subjugator angle, he could, in theory, take 28 damage during this turn, during this game.
True.
So whether or not, as you said, it's a bit of a later or mid to late game play. So let's see if he gets that far.
But we also know he has his Crystal Skin.
That's
and
true.
he has multiple mountain forts, so maybe he's just on the
Try and
mitigate
turn
all
it
the
up.
damage play.
Yeah, that's a valid option.
Because they are 14 individual points, so if it's mitigated by 6 each time, then it's only really 16.
Yeah, only 16.
Which only 16.
Only 16.
But if you're coming from 35, I mean...
it's much better than 28. I'll not disagree with you there. So, great starting hand. I think we've missed a turn here where they've just been drawing. But a great insect swarm, because obviously trickle damage.
Yep.
Really nice to have, and we know that it's difficult for the Dolly deck to actually, he's all about the loop.
Yep.
So trickle or infinite damage is very bad against him.
And the question is, how low does Dolo actually want to go? Because he can Dolo, he doesn't have a fort out yet.
Yep.
So he just Trianu'd to heal Dolo up.
And he's got a Spirit Channel out, so when Dolo heals, he heals for 2, which is great, because we've got to think about this now. 20 minutes until time, after 3 turns at time, highest health wins. So Trianu, his ability is to heal the other person. So at that point, you do not want to be healing him. You want him to be far enough away from your health that even if you have to use it in emergency, you want to make sure that 3 heal is not a problem. Spirit Channel is a great counter to that. So at least when he heals him, he gets health back himself. So they both stay high. Trianu obviously doing that heal to draw 2 cards.
Yep.
So here we go. So he heals him for 3, he heals for 2, he draws 2 cards. And as you can see, the health is nice and high. I'm guessing at time, Trianu might have the swing here. But then we do know Dollar has Crushing Blow, Wrath of the Mountain. If that surprises you, that's that could be enough to swing the win.
But WingedWeasel did see both of them as well, so he shouldn't.
He's aware of it, yeah. So at time, I'm guessing are we looking at Mossridge defenders here?
We do have 3 defenders, and
anything else interesting? Stumpdrift Shaman.
He has 1 Grim Glider. That's it. So if he gets Crushing Blowed with that Grim Glider out, he's able to get it back with his Root Singer, but it's still something that he's going to have to be aware of.
He's going Spectral Web early. How many
I believe
of those?
he had 2 Spectral Webs in his hand.
Okay.
He's got 2
he's
defenders
got 3 in
from
the
what I
deck.
just saw with his Riffle. So
he's got 3 in the deck. I don't see that a lot. A suite of webs. So I feel so bad when I play Insect Swarm against a Mountain Fort.
No, I feel so good. That way you don't have to do anything else
I
to
feel
just
so good,
rotate it out.
All of that potential damage reduction from Mountain Fort sitting there ready.
To be fair,
to be hit
CJ
for 1.
played the Mountain Fort into the Insect Swarm, so he knew it was there.
Yeah. Great that the Insect Swarm's there though, because obviously that helps a lot with the trickle. Oh, are we looking at a Raging Spirit here? It sounds a bit filthy, doesn't it?
It does a little bit, yeah. He has
Spectral
both of his other Spectral Webs in his hand.
He's got an Old Oak, so he can restart the one in play. If he Raging Spirits is here, this Insect Swarm could go off early.
Good hand, yeah.
One with Nature. He's going in. Oh, he's going in big.
Whoa, okay.
So 1 with Nature increases.
Was not expecting that on turn 4.
He's well into this. So 1 with Nature increases all damage and healing from Nature cards all damage and healing by 2. So Insect Swarm's now going to be trickling for 3.
Yep.
So he's definitely got that health lowered ready for time, if nothing else. He's got 1 more turn before the Spectral Web can be removed, but we know he's got Old Oak and another Spectral Web.
Yep.
I'm hoping he's got more damage to even get more out of that Spectral Web.
I mean, he has a Reckless Spirit, so there's a little bit more there.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. Oh, we have missed the Lunar Weapon came out at some point. Oh, he's just...
That was the first weapon to come out. He blacksmithed the Final last
I think
turn.
he just drew 2 naturally.
Did he?
Or did he dolly? Oh, no, he dollied, so the Mountain Fort went out.
The Mountain Fort rotated away.
Which means Insect Swarm's going to hit the full 3, for what it's worth.
Really shows, this matchup shows just how strong the draw power is with both of these heroes.
Yeah, it's a good face-off. Focus Chamber,
Focus
draw
Chamber.
1. Is he going to put a Subjugator in?
There's another Mountain
yeah,
Fort.
good pick. So the first turn is blocked. What do? He's got to get that Spectral Web reset, I think, here. What would you do?
He has 2 other Spectral Webs in his hand, and he has the ability to get Spectral Webs.
Oh, he's got 2 in his hand, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe let this one go. Maybe play a fresh one. Fresh one and then heal to draw better cards.
Oh, it looks like, is that a Tusker?
This is risky. He's got to play another Spectral. Spectral Old Oak, surely.
He has an Unruly Mob in main deck, which is...
No! Why would you do this? Oh, sorry, it's my mistake. Spectral Web is on an active corner.
One more corner.
Oh man, I'm freaking out here. I thought it was on the cross. I was looking at it a bit closest to our camera. Okay, so yeah, that makes more sense. So he's dollaring for 2, burning through his own fort. So that Tusker is obviously 6 damage on the 3rd corner.
With a defendability to restart it.
However, we're looking at 8 damage because it's going to be increased by the 1 with Nature.
Yep.
So Trianu not looking to mess around in this fight. payback for betting locked
This
out a
might
bit
be a
last game.
more aggressive list than some of the others that I've seen.
That's true. I don't know if the Tuskers are in the standard Mimic lineup. Has he got Hungry Behemoths or has he gone the...
No Hungry
Ooh,
Behemoths.
3.
So,
How many Tuskers are we looking at? Stampeding Tusker.
just one. It's a
Just
one
the
of.
one. Well, it's oh, there you
I
go.
mean-
So there's your fresh web.
And being able to restart that Tusker for some perpetual
And again,
damage.
though, we were talking about this before. Paralysis bug would stop you drawing defending. Tuskers to defend. If he had a paralysis bug, it would go away afterwards.
Yep.
But he's opted to stick with the subjugator, so I can only assume he's got a game plan that's going to work in that favour. But yeah, so Stone Scribe in. One more. Oracle. Not a bad.
It's a good choice. I would play that as well.
Although I think I see a Forest Mender on the deck list here, so he could Forest Mend the Oracle to punch through. So here we go. 3 damage from the Swarm, and then 8 damage from the Tusker.
And the Mountain Fort has rotated out as of last turn.
Unfortunately caught by the Stone Scribe for Winged Weasel,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
you've got to take the victories where you can. He's defending to keep the Tusker going. Wise
And then
move.
With his other action, it looks like
I mean, we're talking about Yukon Oracles here, right? It's good damage reduction at 3, and even if it's on the 3, it's great. It stops the insect swarms, but the Tusker hitting 8, thus 5,
Yeah.
that's still 5 damage, infinitely, so to speak, is not to be scoffed at. You might have to double up the damage reduction to survive this, because, I mean, we're looking at time in 10, 15 minutes max now.
yeah.
And he's already on 21.
And second action, he drew a card. All right, so Subjugator's going underneath the Stone Scribe.
So he's got 3 damage reduction now, which is a great counter to the insect swarm buff by power. Oh, sorry, power? I'm on the old terms.
You're going back like 9 months
so
here.
he changed Illumination from power to increased damage and healing. So he kept the card in play, just erratas, the rule, so to speak.
And there's another Subjugator,
I mean,
which doesn't...
I guess he's trying to stop reckless spirit plays because it's still important that he doesn't have this disrupted.
True.
Even though he knows he's not
And
attacking.
then-
6 healing, yeah, makes sense. Here we go again. Oh, and
Spirit Channeler increased that up, got him up to full.
he's got a good deck to go to time with here on the case of Triani.
Definitely does.
So he's got one more go of this Spectral Web before it expires or can be removed. You
True.
said he's got the 3rd one in hand.
He
Yeah, I
does
saw
have
it
the
there.
3rd one in hand, and it looks like he has an
Oh,
Old Oak, right?
He's got a Forest Mender there as well. Yes, he's got 2 options to restart it, or refresh it at least. But he's got 1 turn here where he doesn't have to necessarily worry about that. What do? Do you Forest Mend here? You want to see Forest Mender for the next go to put Subjugator on, I'd say. I think it's more important that he geared hatching Stone Scribes than
Yeah.
Subjugators. It's
Oh,
tricky.
and he's drawing 2 cards, just waiting it out, it looks like.
Not even opting to heal, that's good use.
Yeah.
He could have drawn 3, but he's not going to get the benefit from Spirit Channel, so why heal?
When you're in a health
Dolo
race,
up, yeah,
you don't
let-
want to heal Dolo.
Let him waste his own Boulder Feast or
And
waste
because
an action on it. at least.
essentially healing Dolo for 3 is giving Dolo a free Dolo.
That's a lot of dollar. Although he has a $3, Oracle's out.
True.
But yes. Yeah, it's an interesting trade-off because I heal you, so you can dollar for free, and we both draw
Oh,
the
we've
same.
got a Warp Toad getting back a Stone Scribe and a Subjugator.
Yep.
And then it looks like the Subjugator's going right back into play.
So,
So the Tusker,
8 damage.
-3 from the Oracle.
Exactly. So we should be looking at 5 damage here, down to 22. There it is. This is a cheeky one, but you could play Old Oak to restart the web
Without
and the
having to
Tusker
use
with
the
1 action.
defendability.
Don't usually, the stars don't usually align like that, but is he going to capitalise on that when they do? Is he going to do it? What do you reckon? Old Oak
I don't know. I would,
or Fresh
but
Spectral Web? Because you could Old Oak to get both with 1 action, or you could defend and re-Spectral Web, but that's your turnover, so...
I mean, I would be thinking long game that I want to have my last Spectral Web out for when I know that I've got that Vine Lash, so I would Old Oak.
Yeah. He's going
Looks
for
like
it.
that's what's happening.
He can hear us.
He can't hear us.
No, he can't hear us. That's very important to say, but yeah. He's on the... obviously, these guys, top 16, they know what they're doing, and he's going for that play. That's the right play, definitely. Double reset, good value there, especially on the buffs he's resetting. Saved himself for the defend action. He's still
Definitely.
got 1 more to this turn.
Because the
He's
only
at
other
max health.
rotating buffs he really has are the defenders, and
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I didn't check that out. Yeah, so he
So
must
he
have
doesn't
brought those
really
in for this
care.
play anyway, yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Good
well, I mean,
call.
at least against CJ, he doesn't care about his defenders.
Yeah. Oh, I also spotted here he's got regrowth.
Yep.
So obviously good regrowth Vine Lash, but in a pinch he could... oh no, Spectral Web's burned, so yeah, when
Yep,
that's gone, it's
Spectral Web is
gone.
burned.
So when that's gone, it's gone, so he needs to make sure that Spectral Web stays strong.
Looks like we just had a Focus Chamber Stone Scribe.
Okay. What now? Still got one action then. Lunar
There's
Streak
the
in the
Lunar
Warp
Streaker
Toad.
to get that Warp Toad back.
Trying to get back into the loop. But he blows the last action on the Oracle. So no Warp Toad this go. Subjugator is going to get caught here. I'd be very interested to see what happens if he Forest Mends.
Yeah.
Forest Mends, what did you Forest Mend? Yeah, Forest Mend the new Oracle and the Stone Scribe. Subjugator expires, Oracle covers it up and he's lost a Subjugator basically.
And how many subjugators does he have? Just
Sorry,
two?
he's lost this one though. Just for this.
He does have 3 subjugators,
Yeah,
so
but you need to
he's
start
able to
disrupting.
loople it.
But he can Root Singer. He can Root Singer here, so this is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
What's he going for?
I know from the teching conversations I was overhearing last night, a lot of people are afraid of this infinite loop deck. So the general way of beating it is to get rid of both, like two of the subjugators.
I think that's why you conceded last time. Yeah. Okay, so we did see a Warp Toad. Forest Mender.
And then there's a Reckless Spirit for 5.
I completely forget he can do this. You know, we so focused on the return. We did this last game with the Warp Toad. We forgot he could just Shadow Puppet as well.
It's a good thing we're not playing right now, huh?
I know, right? But he's clearing the buff out. Oh, how much damage was that?
Minus the Oracle.
Okay,
it was
cool.
5, and then he passed turn over to him, and the Oracle rotated out.
Just checking it was increased by the power.
Yeah. Yep. So 3 + 2 - 3.
Wicked.
Right next to the
You can math.
Oftentimes is 2.
All right, so 2 straight actions. Just Stone Scribe Subjugate again. Not blocking the damage, so 3 damage into 8 damage. So 17 down to 9. Has he got a knockout combo?
Does he have any combos? He has 1 combo, but I don't know what combo it is.
Oh, imagine if he had a Mimic. You could just Mimic that for 8.
And then
put him down to 1. And the Insect Swarm finishes him.
Then he'd have 1 turn to heal up.
Insect Swarm will finish him the next go, though.
All right, so he defendability'd the Tusker. And he's checking his discard.
I was also thinking the Forest Mender. How many of those does he have? He only has the 1.
We've got a Root Singer.
Very nice.
Which is getting back.
Take a Forest Mender, yeah.
Forest Mender.
You can Forest Mender Spectral Web and replay it, so he's got even more even more Spectral Webs than he intended. So basically, I think at this point, give or take, obviously, if we go many turns in, it might change. But at this point, I don't think his buffs are going to be removed this game, because he can Forest Mend and then replay the Spectral Web. He's got a 3rd Spectral Web, so at this point, his buffs are going to be staying around for at least, I don't know, 7, 8 turns before he runs out of Spectral Web, Forest Mender.
Well, he runs 3 Root Singers.
Oh, he does?
So he's able to get back.
Oh, okay, I'll take it back.
More Forest Menders. So
I think I just saw an old Oak as well. Interesting. So I think that was both of his actions.
So it looks like CJ has a Boulder Feast in his hand. So
1 for Flynamo.
There's a Mountain Fort, there's a Boulder Feast. So we've got damage mitigation.
Yeah, that's cool. So you can't double Earth.
He flying mode.
He flying mode though. Cheeky way around it with Flynamo. Looking forward to seeing the back of that one. Okay, so Spectral Web is due to be removed. Probably doesn't want to waste an old Oak on this one because it's not in sync with the Tusker. What do you reckon?
I guess we'll see.
He could obviously, did he take the Forest Mender? He could Forest Mend. What would you Forest Mend? Let me think about this. If you Forest Mend the Stone Scribe,
you're giving
the Subjugator expires, but then you Geared Hatchlings.
And you give him back more healing, and at this point he wants to burn him down fast enough so
I'm trying to think how you capitalise on a good Forest Mend here though.
I mean, he could also just play to time and not really worry. So he could Forest Mend the Stone Scribe back and let him heal up, because he has the damage to be able to win in time.
That's completely correct, yeah. Maybe oh, he's got Spore Feeder. Has he got Spore Feeder? Yeah, he's got 1.
He's got 1
that
Spore
heals
Feeder.
That buffs in play, which is quite a lot. It doesn't need the healing, but it would hit for 4 for what it's worth, because the power increase, the damage increase.
Oh, it looks like he is Old Oaking.
Yeah, so he wants to hold on to that fresh
But
Spectral
Old
Web.
Oak is able to be returned, so I would probably do the same thing instead of letting the Spectral Web expire.
Yeah, so as you said, he's got 3 Root Singers, 2 to go, so he can Old Oak and Forest Mender back to his hand. Gives him loads of opportunity to replay and restart Spectral Webs.
All right, so he flying a mode.
It's a little cheeky trickle heal. On the next go, though, it's another big hit coming in, so the Mountain Fort's going to block the Swarm, but then he's going to take 6 damage.
Yep.
After reduction, so he's not out of the woods yet, or out of the forest, shall I say?
Terrible pun.
I know, I'm sorry, I take it back. No, I don't take it back.
I'll forgive you this time.
I don't take it back. Okay, what we got? He's still got 2 actions, right? He's flying
He does, yep, he's flying a mode, and it looks like he...
All right, well, I'm going to start my announcements.
He's still confident. He's got so many cards. As you said, very solid deck builder, solid player. So he's got to make sure his game strategy is right, because as we've seen, disruption or misplay can cause this thing to misfire. So he's keeping it under order. So he's got Subjugator stored, Subjugator in play. Not sure why he's worried about getting attacked. Maybe he's worried about a knockout blow potentially. Doesn't know what the Triano combos are.
Right.
So maybe, I mean, there aren't any, but you know, it's a safety net, right? You've got to be careful.
Yep, so there's the Tusker.
Yep, Insect Swarm ticked it first.
Yep.
So on the next go, he's got 2 damage. Is going to be blocked. 1 Swarm will overflow into the Oracle. But yeah, so still in a nasty position here.
Restarting that Tusker.
I mean, that Tusker's going to get the job done. I love that each body only has 1 of them. So there's 1 Tusker, just, you know, stampeding his way down.
It's Trianu's pet Tusker.
Yeah, and he only has 1, but I just love it's 1, you know, it's like the reliability of getting the 1 card you need out. Obviously, Triano with the draw power, he's drawn into it. So he still knows he's got Forest Mender as well, so he could be cheeky here. He could Forest Mend. What could he do? Let me think about this. He could Forest Mend the Oracle.
Yep.
So the next go, if he replays it, the Tusker hits for full damage anyway for 8 in this situation as well, and the Insect Swarm for 3. I think we could be looking at a kill if he does that, potentially.
All right, so Geode Hatchling back another Oracle.
Yep. That's not a problem. Just double Forest Mender them both.
Yep. Get that out.
I'm just getting bloodlust though. I want to see a kill. I don't want to see a time. So everything like this, yeah. So if he Forest Mends the 2 Oracles, he can't play the same card twice. He could Focus Chamber it though, but either way, they'd be on the X. So Insect Swarm for 3, Tusker for 8, that's 9 damage. So might be looking at a potential kill range there.
Looks like CJ drew. And then there's a Shrieker bringing back a Stone Scribe.
I think it's as many buffs as we've seen him have out this game,
Yeah.
of these games. Also, having lots of buffs out does shut down Rootsinger as well. Maybe he's got that mental bit on the side there just to keep him out. Although,
At this point,
there's a Spectre Web down
yeah,
there.
Rootsinger would still hit.
Sorry,
but,
I thought Triano was a buff.
Oh, there we go. There's 1 more buff. So it doesn't completely shut down Rootsinger, it just makes it less
So looking at
effective.
4 buffs versus 5 buffs. So Rootsinger's still playing out now. Oh,
They both have 5.
5, sorry,
We've got a Stone Scribe, the Subjugator, 2
This one's
2
so
Oracles.
far down the screen and Triano is in a buff position. All right. So back to WingedWeasel here. 1 turn off Tusker hitting for 2? No, it's blocked, unfortunately.
Yep.
So much damage
by
reduction
both
in the
of
line
the
right now.
Oracles.
I wonder if he's planned for this. I mean, assuming the Stone Scribe can catch them and he can replay them. But, yeah, it's a tricky one here. Okay. He's just gone in for, I mean, I don't know why.
We are at a point of the Stone Scribe actually expiring.
Are we in time?
Yeah, we're at time.
Do you know
So we are now in time.
How many turns are we now? Yeah.
So then he has lost draw. So
We're in time now. So how many turns have we got left at the moment?
they put it in time.
Yeah, I think so. I was just wondering because I saw Triano here has played Monstrous Defender and Subject Shaman. Obviously he's holding up, even though he's on max health. I think this is just a case of...
It's going to time. If it is in time, then it is in time.
It's in time. So this is why we're seeing this all of a sudden very, very defensive plays here.
Yep, so Subjugator has rotated out.
And we've got 3, 6, 9 damage reduction for Dolo on the right-hand side of your screens there.
But Dolo is going to have to heal up for a large amount.
I think this is the second turn.
We think this is on the second turn at the moment. Obviously, we're sitting away from the players exactly, so we don't have that information specifically. But right now, the damage reduction is aligned to completely block the buffed-up Tusker. Unfortunately, Dolly doesn't do a lot of damage other than combos, and Mostrish Defender's out on a 3 right now. 1 damage, put Subjugate back into play, so he's thinking of just any potential blind attacks. Obviously, he still hasn't seen a lot of Trianu's combos other than one with Nature. So he might be expecting, I don't know, a Feral Rage, you know.
Right.
Actually, with all that damage reduction, it wouldn't matter anyway, but you never know with time. You just want to stay as alive as possible.
So insects, they're in turn 2 right now?
Turn 2 now. So this is 2. All right, so 8 damage, -3, -3, -3. Clunks the last Mountain Fortaleza, so that's progress.
Yep.
So Spectral Web is on its cross. So you want to restart this at this point because a Crystal Leech could still do a lot of damage here.
But they are on
Oh, he's got a fresh
time,
Spectral
so
Web.
he's got a fresh Spectral Web. He could just...
Yeah, go for this fresh. Yeah, fresh is guaranteed. It will last.
And he only has 2 Old Oaks. He's used both, so
Yeah,
I would do
Spectral
fresh
Web.
Spectral Web.
Yeah, and yeah, it's got 3 active corners. This is turn 2. Your buffs are safe to the end of the game.
Yep.
And obviously, one with nature is buffing healing and damage. Damage, not really a problem right now because there's so much damage reduction out, but healing, he's on max health, but it's buffing Stump Drift Shaman. On the next go, he's going to heal for 6. He won't actually heal because he's on max health, but basically, Dolly can't damage him this turn because he's going to undo 6 of it.
And CJ doesn't have enough heal,
Wow,
I
and another
believe.
Moss Ridge. How many are you looking at? 4, 8, 9 buffs on the side of Triana here. I think
It's a
this
nice
is
little board state there. I think at this point,
Cheeky-
CJ doesn't have the ability to...
Cheeky Root Singer?
Oh, Wrath of the Mountain.
No, hold on. Is that Rock Melter? Yeah, Rock Melter.
Oh, he used Rock Melter. Okay.
Ignores damage reduction. But
It
as I just
does,
said,
but at this point...
Stump Drift rotates and heals for 6, so he's undone it.
Yep.
So 4, well, he would have overflowed because of the one with nature buffing it up.
Yep.
So maybe should have held off on that Rock Metal 1 turn, but I don't think it will make a difference anyway because the
I mean, at
the
this
healing
point,
game,
he's at 13. He doesn't have the ability to heal up enough
No.
to make it...
I mean, he could even have risked the Triani to go up. I think they're just running the numbers,
Yep.
and that's a defeat.
All right.
So we actually end up
that's
seeing a 2-0. A 2-0 for Winged
2-0
Weasel.
in time. That
So
was
top 16 to top 8. So I
very
think
intense game.
that means we're saying goodbye to CJ from the tournament. So
Yep.
well played by CJ. It was a great 2 games of Lightseekers, as she said. Sicario taking down Dolo. Dolo
Yeah.
opted to stay with it, but not enough for Triana. We didn't even see the Mimic Vine Lash. It wasn't
No.
a kill. It went to time. But
We didn't even see his Grim Glider or his Horror.
such
so.
a strong board though. Like you said, turn 4 we had one with nature out.
Yep.
Such great play by both players and counterplay by Winged Weasel. Taking it. That's not an easy deck to play against. I mean, credit to both guys here. CJ bringing a really impressive control
Yeah.
deck, shutting down a lot of players this weekend, but not enough for Winged Weasel apparently. So Winged Weasel going through to top 8 and tune back in for the next round. And thank you, Lifesaver
Definitely.
Mandy, for joining me again.
Thanks for having me.